Landslide warnings have been issued to 6 districts. Director of the Landslides and Disaster Management Unit at the NBRO, RMS Bandara, noted that Kandy, Kegol, Ratnapura, Badulla and Nuwara districts were issued the warning. He added that the warnings will be in effect till evening and is subjected to change depending on the weather condition.
Area residents from several areas have been affected by the inclement weather condition. The landslide occurred in the Bahira Wakakanda area in the Kandy district early this morning and was listed as a landslide-prone area. Our correspondent noted that 35 families were evacuated from their homes and requested to remain along the Kandy-Peradeniya main road. As a result of the road which enters for the Bahira Kandurajma area was severely affected. Director of the Landslide Monitoring Unit of the NBRO, RMS Bandara, states that investigations have commenced with regard to the future risk of landslides occurring in the area. The Gampaganembula main road of the Mailangamu area was inundated owing to the inclement weather condition. The Elbow Junction, located at the entry point of the Dunghinda Alla along the Badulla Mahayangane road, has been identified as a landslide-prone area. Our correspondent noted that the crack marks have appeared along this route. A group of doctors and hospital staff attached to the Bhagavanthala Divisional Hospital are currently staging a strike. The demonstrators staged the strike action against a group of individuals who disrupted their activities yesterday. The strike action was staged following the hospitalization of a mother and a daughter who were severely injured following an earth slip on Monday. The demonstrators.
An accident occurred near the Kabidigol roundabout in Malavachiya when a motor bicycle collided with a motor car. Nuwan Chintaka, who was the motorcyclist, succumbed to his injuries upon admission to the Malavachiya hospital. The driver of the motor car had been arrested by the Malavachiya police and is due to be produced before courts today. And on international news, French lawmakers today urged their government to recognize Palestine, a symbolic move that will not immediately affect France's diplomatic stance, but demonstrates growing European impatience with the stalled peace process. While most developing countries recognize Palestine as a state, most Western European countries do not, supporting the Israeli and US position that an independent Palestinian state should emerge from negotiations with Israel. European countries have grown frustrated with Israel, which since the collapse of the latest US-sponsored talks in April has pressed on with building settlements in territory the Palestinians want for their state. The motion received the backing of 339 lawmakers with 151 against. It comes after Sweden becomes the biggest Western European country to recognize Palestine, and Parliament in Spain, Britain and Ireland held votes in which they backed non-binding resolutions in favor of recognition. According to US cybersecurity firm Cylance, Iranian hackers have infiltrated some of the world's top energy transport and infrastructure companies over the past 2 years in a campaign that could not allow them to eventually cause physical damage.
It was far too complex, far too organized, and far too symmetrical. So there was things were happening at the exact same time from different groups around the world in different countries, that this was not just a bunch of hackers that got bored one day. These guys had a long-standing purpose and mission to go after these targets, and it wasn't just for fun. It was to use or leverage the information in some capacity, and it was derived from somebody that could fund them properly over many years. So they're in what I would call kind of a tier 1 space of hacker teams, but they haven't quite finished to get to the upper echelons of that group. Yeah, I think cyber is definitely the 4th area of combat in the world, and it's here to stay. I think every major power wants to have not just intelligence, but wants to have a foothold in the critical infrastructure of their adversaries, I'll say.
I had a lot of paddock around me, so I used to play all sports, rugby league, or used to swim, play cricket, anything as a kid growing up with my brother and a few mates, and because we had a lot of land too, so Used to just run around on the park and on the farm, and yeah, that's how it sort of kick-started. I remember, I first started playing when I was 10, and I used to play just in the backyard with my brother Jason and my dad.
Maiden 100 in Test match cricket.
Goes in the air, it's going up the ground. What a way! What a way to get to your first Test 100. Philip Hughes in just his second Test. Look at the reaction from Ricky Ponting.
Mentally tough coming into it. It's probably a big part of myself.
You have a good day, boys.